Hello, this is Audrey Sussman from the Anxiety Control Center, and today I'll be talking about irritable bowel syndrome, anxiety, and worry. It's interesting, tomorrow I'm doing a radio spot, just a short spot on the irritable bowel syndrome, and I figured let me make an MP3 for my clients. Maybe you'd be interested in it too, so you get first dibs. People sometimes ask me, how did I get into this? It's not like I thought when I was a child, gee whiz, I think I'm going to want to be a person who works with irritable bowel and worry and anxiety. Most kids don't dream that way. And it's not what I thought I was going to do when I became a hypnotherapist. But life had a way of gently pushing me towards this amazing and fulfilling career. Now it is my passion to help people who are fed up with struggling with the pain, worry, the urgency, and exhaustion of coping with irritable bowel syndrome. And one of the reasons I'm doing the radio call is to let people know that there is a way to break free from the devastating symptoms, and not only to break free, but without medication. In my first years as a hypnotist, and I've been doing this for around 30 years, I found I was really good at helping people to get rid of panic attacks. I was working at an agency, and I was being referred all the people who came through the doors who had panic attacks. And I was really good at helping people. But I have to tell you, I've gotten a lot better over the 30 years of my profession. I started with the traditional cognitive and behavioral techniques. But this really wasn't enough. It wasn't getting the permanent results I was looking for. So, of course, I ended up researching and studying and adding other types of therapy, other skills, other tools. And eventually, I realized that I needed a way to get to the root that was triggering the panic instead of just treating the symptoms. It's kind of like the symptoms are the tip of the iceberg, and the root is the huge part that goes underneath, which pushes the symptoms. So once I found a way of getting to the root of what was triggering the symptoms, I knew I had the answer, and my clients were actually able to stop panic attacks. But when you get really good at solving one problem, the mind has a way of saying, okay, that was good. How about you solve this one? So what happened was many of my clients who had panic attacks also had bowel and stomach pain. The anxiety of never knowing when the symptoms would hit was blocking the joy of life. So even though the panic attacks were gone, unless we got rid of the fear of having the bowels act up at the most embarrassing time, people just couldn't get free of worrying about what I call the what ifs. What if I'm commuting to work and my stomach acts up? What if I can't get to the bathroom in time? What if I'm in a presentation and I need to get out of the room and it's embarrassing to get up? Irritable bowel syndrome causes so much stress that even the simple things most of us take for granted become difficult. People telling me they couldn't go on vacation, or they were worried about giving a presentation, or even taking their kids out for the day was not possible without anxiety around bowel spoiling the day. This irritable bowel syndrome blocked all the joy that life had to offer. And this is truly heartbreaking. All these people who were not fully living their lives. And so, again, it was back to the drawing board. I used all the knowledge I had gathered treating panic, experimented with it, experimented with different techniques, added new tools, until we were able to literally stop the pain and get free from the fear and worry about irritable bowel hitting. It's kind of like we found a toolkit specifically for the relief of irritable bowel and worry. So in the future, it's been such a blessing to have these things happen for my clients, like getting these postcards. I just love it when I get postcards from people from on vacation showing this beautiful spot. And these are people who couldn't think about traveling when they first came to see me. Some of them couldn't even get in a car or a train. And now they're flying off to these vacations. Hearing how they were succeeding at work because they were no longer limited by irritable bowel. You know, I had a guy who came into me because he had a huge promotion at work, and he had to give talks. And he said, Audrey, I've been giving talks to 3 or 4 people, and it's not a problem. But now that it's part of my job and I have to address the whole East Coast division, I don't think I could take this job. So let me tell you, we got rid of his irritable bowel and worry, and he took the job, and I followed him for years, and he was doing great. It's been about 10 years now. Haven't heard from him, so I'm assuming he's still flying high. You know, as a bonus of getting rid of the irritable bowel, many people found that even their home life is happier when they are able to focus on others and do the things that they want to do without the irritable bowel syndrome getting in the way. And that's what inspires me. So, like my near future, I hope to continue getting more exciting news from my clients. I just love the moment when somebody says to me, all these years of suffering and feeling misunderstood and frustrated, and now I have hope. They also say, how come I didn't know about this before? How come I've suffered all these years and now in just a number of sessions I'm better? And so for them and for anyone on this call who's suffering with irritable bowel, I want you to know there is a way to get relief. And again, for me, it's a total joy. What can be better than people who now are free to live their life? So that's why I'm doing the call tomorrow on the radio and why I keep doing what I do. I know I have a way of getting rid of irritable bowel syndrome for once and for all. And I can't bear to think of anyone struggling with this when they don't have to, which is why I'm on this mission. And I really, I'm so excited. Tomorrow I'm going to have this opportunity to share my mission on the radio. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer to anyone listening who is struggling with irritable bowel, who knows someone who is, I'm going to extend a special gift. So I'm going to also do that for you, my people, and I'm setting aside for people who are following me and are on my list and get tips from me, I'm going to set aside 10 irritable bowel relief consultations. These are consultations specifically for irritable bowel syndrome and anxiety. So if you or someone you know is sick and tired of having irritable bowel and anxiety and they're ready to get rid of the worry once and for all, it's really simple. Simply email me at anxietycontrol@gmail.com. Let me say it one more time. Email me at anxietycontrol@gmail.com. And be sure to put in the subject header, I'm fed up with IBS. And I'll get back to you right away to schedule a time. So if you just want to learn more about me, my website is anxietycontrolcenter.com. Once again, it's anxietycontrolcenter.com. And I hope that this short little talk has been valuable for you, letting you know there's hope. You don't have to suffer with irritable bowel. And again, I am putting aside the 10 consultations for my people. I'll be offering another 10 on the radio for outside listeners. So I'll look forward to hearing from you. Again, it's Audrey Sussman from the Anxiety Control Center. Hope our paths cross soon.